right? It is an easier pitch to those people because Bitcoin has been the only asset that has performed 30% risk-adjusted return. Now, what is risk-adjusted return? Where you are already hedged. The easiest way to do that is what Bitmore is, right? Because it's a, yeah, you have to come here once.
Right. Stack sats, guys. What are you doing? Like, just go and stack sats right now.
Yes, one Bitcoin is at $100,000,
Yeah.
but one Satoshi, one sat, is still severely underpriced.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome to Scribble Pods. This is a new kind of way for our community to interact with the builders that they engage with. And today, I think I have a builder and a half who goes by the name of Jos Paul, who, by the way, is not having an artificial background. This is actually where he is right now. So, talk about touching grass and building at the same time. We're going to try and figure out how to tie all of these things together. But Jos, what is up? Where are you calling in from? And why is your background so cool?
Hey. Thank you for having me here. This new method that we're trying out here, right? Scribble Pod. Very
Yeah.
excited for how that's gonna come out. Anyway, I'm in Varkala in Kerala, Kerala is where I'm from. So uh, today I thought, why not? Special day for my first podcast actually as a builder.
No way.
Yeah.
No way, dude.
So
No, look, I've been following your work for a while. I think you've been in the space for a bit, and I
yeah.
think we really connected during Basecamp. I don't know how many people listening to this podcast know that being invited to Basecamp was Base essentially telling you that, yeah, you guys are cool. We like what you're doing. Why don't you come and meet the Insight team? But what was that like for you, dude? How was beautiful Vermont, and how was Basecamp, and what was that experience for you?
So for me, I started my whole journey with base batches, right? And yeah, from there, getting in, I post base batches. Once we won the prize there, Incubase, all of that. Once that was done, I jumped into base fellowship, based India fellowship. And when Soumya saw my application, he was like, "What are you doing here? You just the base batches." So I jumped in there. That is when I got to know that something like Basecamp is about to happen. And when after I met the Indian team, they were like, "Bro, you need to come to Basecamp," right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how the whole thing happened. We figured out visa in 3 weeks somehow. I think got lucky there. uh, and heading to the US it was my first time crossing the ocean. I've been only to Asia before, so for me it was my first time going out of my time zone, comfortable time zone as well. I was completely underprepared for what jet lag was. I realized this 12-hour time zone differences were like crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But the
Anyway,
experience itself, I guess, would have been really cool. I think getting to interface with the Coinbase team, getting to talk to the base team, I think really showed a lot about. I think we were probably the first people to hear that Base is doing a network token.
token, yeah,
Uh,
biggest
yeah,
announcement there, right?
uh,
It felt like you're in some alpha group, right?
yeah, like an IRL alpha group. That's exactly what it was. And the reason I brought this up is I feel like they must see some strategic alignment with what you're doing. And obviously, after learning about your product a bit more, what I've come to see is people want BTC exposure without having to leave their native chains. And doing that on Base is probably you would be probably one of the first few people who have done it after names like Morpho. So why don't we dive right into what Bitmore is and tell us, how did you come up with this? What does it exactly do? What does it mean for BTC to be on Base?
Right. So let me first dive into the what is Bitmore, right? Part.
Yeah.
So Bitmore, we are trying to establish Bitmore as the credit and savings layer of Bitcoin on Base.
Okay.
So everybody,
Break that down.
yeah,
Break that down so that like a 5-year-old can understand.
yeah. So you must have heard this: save in Bitcoin, focus on your craft. Now, I don't want to get much deeper into the layers of Bitcoin as a conversation while I'm just starting off with Bitmore. We can go there a little down the lane. But people want to save in Bitcoin, right?
Right.
People want to acquire Bitcoin. It's the most aspirational crypto asset that is there for not just crypto people, but for non-crypto people out there. You talk to somebody outside of crypto, they would know what Bitcoin is. They might not know what your Solana is. They might not know what Base is. None of that they might know, right? Or might not have even heard of Ethereum.
Yes.
But everybody's heard of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
So we are trying to establish ourselves as the credit and savings layer of Bitcoin on Base. Now, what does that mean? We have two separate types of products aimed at people who are trying to acquire Bitcoin.
Right.
So one is a simple on-chain DCA product where you can come and this is the savings layer, right? Where every month you come and do an SIP into Bitcoin, where you decide what is a comfortable amount of money that you're willing to set aside to save in Bitcoin, and that we purchase for you on a daily basis. So it might be $1 a day, it might be $10 a day, but it is uh, adding up sats for you in your name till you reach your goal, whatever that goal is, right?
Got it. Before we get to the next product, an SIP for those who are not from India is a systematic investment plan. Essentially, you have a system that puts in a certain amount of money in a certain asset every month. And so, using Bitmore, what you're essentially saying is that I can dollar cost average into Bitcoin month on month automatically. So, how
Yes.
does that work? So, I have, say, $1,000 to put in.
Hmm.
How do I work with Bitmore here?
Right. At the stage where we are converting USDC into BTC, CBBTC every day. Now, what does that mean for
Got it.
people who not get it? USDC is a stable coin, which is a dollar representation, right? So this stable coin is being converted into uh, a wrapped Bitcoin asset
Got it.
a daily basis based on the uh, numbers that you're comfortable with, right?
Understand.
Now, every day you can do as little as $1 to as much as you wish to, right?
Okay.
Now, what happens here is Bitcoin, as you know, is a volatile asset. For
Yes.
inside crypto, it might be the least volatile asset, but outside of crypto, people when they look at it, it is a very volatile asset. So what happens when you DCA is that you smoothen out the curve, you smoothen out
Yeah.
the volatility. You buy it at $50,000, you buy it at $55,000, you buy it at $60,000. You also bought it at $100,000. So ups and downs does not matter, right? You're buying
Correct.
every price. So
Right.
over
Right.
time, what happens is you have smoothened the volatility to a point where uh, you are always in the market. So that you don't have to time the market here.
Correct. Correct. No, that's absolutely right. I think a lot of people really lose this idea in crypto. At least we are always looking for the right entry point into BTC without forgetting that you can buy BTC in small amounts every day, and if you average out the price, you are almost like beating the volatility in an interesting way. And
Correct.
I guess an easy way to do that is what Bitmore is. Is that a
The
safe way
easiest
to
way
put it?
to do that is what Bitmore is, right? Because
Easiest. Okay.
yeah, you have to come here once. That's it. You have to come here once. You decide how much dollars. What you can set yourself a Bitcoin goal, and you can also decide how many dollars you want to put in on a daily basis. You set that up. You can forget about it. Right now, the only time where we will send you a notification to come back to the app is when you're low on USDC balance.
Right. Right.
So it is perfect for people who are currently earning in stable coins itself, or people who are holding some sort of crypto assets already, right? Now we will be expanding it further to at a later stage where you can do this directly from your bank accounts through on ramps.
Oh, sweet. So I don't even need to have crypto. I could just connect it to my bank account, preload some money, and it would essentially keep
Turmeric
dollar cost
investment.
averaging into. Yeah, got it. Oh, that'll make it really convenient. Okay, before we get into the other interesting bits about BTC on base, let's talk about the pitch for two kinds of people, and these are two kinds of people who watch our who are in our audience set, right? So the first kind is someone who has maybe $300 to $400 to put in, and has the options of uh, you know uh, putting it into an altcoin, probably meme coin trading, or anything like that. Now, why should this person put money into BTC?
Right. So, an altcoin trader's general journey is that you are hoping to hit that 110x or 15x. Your risk tolerance is a lot higher, right?
That's right. Right.
Generally.
Yeah.
And more often than otherwise, I can say this from personal experience as well. It does not do the 5x or 10x that you're hoping that it would do.
Right.
And even if it does, what happens is you don't end up taking the profit also, and somewhere the market crashes. I've been in this space since 2017. I've seen how these things move, and when it crashes, it really crashes. It,
Right.
and these coins go where the sun don't shine. Right. So Bitcoin is always the only asset inside crypto that is not a single cycle asset, right? Maybe you have your Ethereum as well there as a distant second, but the only coin that has survived across cycles is Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
if you are doing crypto, put 50% of your money in BTC. I'm not saying put 100% of your money in BTC, because the kind of people who come to crypto are generally are people with higher risk tolerance, right? But
Right.
this helps you not go to zero when
Right.
inevitable market crash sometime will happen, right?
Got it. Got it.
So, and the first thing to rise back when the market has to move again in a new cycle will be Bitcoin,
Yeah. That's
right?
right.
You've been in the space for a very long time as well. You've seen this happen multiple
Yeah.
times.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you put your Bitcoin in a bank locker and forget about it.
Correct.
That's I think the only people that I know who have made like really big money in this space are the guys who haven't sold their Bitcoin, or better still, bought Bitcoin and forgot about it. And those are guys who have actually made a lot of cash. Let me ask you for the second category of people. Like now, this is someone who is getting a steady 18 to 24% return on year by just investing in stocks. In especially in the Indian ecosystem, the economy on average grows at 7%, and so it just holding the Indian economy will nearly beat inflation of the rupee at least, right? Or global inflation also. And
Mhm.
so now, how do you tell this person whenever your bank account connection comes in that Bitcoin is an asset that you must hold? And what is a pitch to them saying, hey, put some of your money that's going into these safe assets, quote unquote, into Bitcoin?
So it is a easier sell to those people, right? It is an easier pitch to those people because Bitcoin has been the only asset that has performed 30% risk adjusted return. Now, what is risk adjusted return? Where you are already hedged, right?
Right.
Now, year on year return. Now, otherwise, a 60% return is available to you if you are not hedged. Then this is in the past. This is not from the beginning of Bitcoin. I'm just talking about the past 7 years, right?
Right.
So, no other asset class today has been able to provide that kind of returns.
Yes.
So you're not just beating inflation, you're beating all sorts of instruments out there.
Yes.
So
Yes.
uh, the general stock market person is looking at like the numbers that you said, somewhere between 15-20%. Now, this is not a risk adjusted return that is coming, it moves with the market as well, right?
Yes.
So if I am able to give a 30%, if I'm able to give an asset to them which is returning 30% risk adjusted,
Right.
it's a no-brainer, right? But then again, see, these people are in stocks because their risk capacity is lower, right?
Right.
So it does not make sense for them to do their 100% investment into Bitcoin.
Right.
It's not like I'll tell them go micro strategy, do a sailor strategy, right? So no, but you can still allocate somewhere between a 2 to 5% of your net worth
into Bitcoin.
Into BTC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, that thesis has played out really well. That it is, I don't know who said this. No, I do know actually who said this. This was Shamat on one of those all-in podcasts, where he said that Bitcoin is schmuck insurance. It's that you know, when say the dollar decides to print too much, the yen decides to do policies that are not good for global trade. Some country decides to shut itself down. How do you protect yourself from all of it? The risk adjustment per se comes from the fact that Bitcoin isn't the network of BTC isn't controlled by anybody, and it has utility, and there are enough people believing in in its
Power generation
provenance per se.
truly universal asset, right?
Yeah, yeah,
See, my comparison to for Bitcoin would always be like gold. It will not be
yeah.
compared to like a stock, right?
Right, right,
So what made gold gold is that it is universally gold. Like it's fungible. Wherever you go in the world, it has the same value, right?
right,
So
right.
that you cannot take all your gold through an airport and go somewhere if you want to
Sure,
start.
sure.
Yeah, if your country is crumbling, there is no way for you to do that, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but Bitcoin is not that. Bitcoin, you can just
yeah.
store it in your head. It's just 12 words that you need to store, right?
Yeah.
Store it in your head and go somewhere else and
I
start.
mean, no, you're absolutely right. And coming to countries crumbling, going by your background, I think where you're at is fine. But it is a sad reality for many people in this world, and they have an option now. They have an option with Bitcoin. So
So
anyway, the
a lot
case
of
for
countries, right,
sorry.
where the returns that we talk about, this 30%, 60%, it's dollar basis, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of countries where inflation has been terrible,
yeah.
they have beaten all time, they've continuously beat all time highs.
That's true. That's true. That's
Like,
true. And I remember, like in countries like Zimbabwe, at one point, Bitcoin was trading at like a 5 to 6x premium on some of the normal centralized exchanges there. It is
interesting.
just that the demand for BTC in that geography was so much, and there were just a lot of people who wanted to hold an asset that is uncorrelated with their currency.
Yeah. Now, what is it correlated to is generally the question that a lot of people ask me when I introduce Bitcoin to them. Like, where does the value come from, right? And what you just said, the schmuck insurance makes so much sense as a term.
Yeah, yeah. No, I did say that. Although, I mean, I might as well take credit for it after pointing it. But
Quote a chart.
yeah, no, no. But yes, it is schmuck insurance in that sense, and it's also like a very fungible way to. It's a very transportable store of value. Uh,
Yeah, and yesterday I had like a thought where we often ignore the human cost of gold.
yeah, that's true.
Like
That is true.
when we compare gold and Bitcoin, that's a clear win for Bitcoin
Yeah,
because
yeah,
uh, with gold, what we see in Sudan today, right? The
yeah, yeah,
half of the fight is because of the gold.
yeah, yeah,
People
yeah.
are
And bit.
there is nothing like that around Bitcoin, right? There is no violence there is no bloodshed that needs to happen for this store of value.
Yeah, just nerds fighting on hash rate across the world. I picked that over what's happening on Sudan, dude. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. So definitely buy Bitcoin, no matter where you're at. And if you think you have enough Bitcoin, you don't. So please accumulate as much of it as possible. But why Base, right? Like, why can't you do this on the Bitcoin network itself? And why are you choosing Base as a home for people to uh, accumulate BTC?
So, uh, first of all, from a builder perspective, it is not very easy to build on Bitcoin. That is
Right.
step one, right? That is problem number one. The foundation layer of why this needs to happen on Base.
Right.
You cannot build this on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The transaction fees for I'm offering an SIP plan at $1 a day, right? The transaction fees itself will eat into half of it.
That's
So
right.
so it makes no sense to build a product like this on the Bitcoin network.
Yeah.
Now, there are alternative networks, right, where wrapped Bitcoin assets already do exist. Now, which makes again on Ethereum network also, if you do it depending on gas price on L1, it is difficult to do.
Yeah, yeah,
The cost does not make sense.
yeah.
Now, where it does make sense are L2s, right? Where transaction cost is lower and this becomes a very viable option.
Right,
Then comes the question, why Base?
right.
Base has one of the highest liquidity for a wrapped Bitcoin asset.
Really? Like,
Yes.
can you compare it to say other wrapped assets, wrapped Bitcoin assets on other chains?
Yeah. So, for example, not in CBBTC, which is Coinbase wrapped Bitcoin, right?
Mm, mm.
Uh, has a total supply of, I think, around 70K Bitcoin in total.
Wow, wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Now, there are two players in the market. It's not just Coinbase BTC. There is WBTC also
Yes.
from BitGo. So they actually have a higher circulating supply, but it
Mm.
is too spread out amongst so many chains that
Right.
there is not sufficient liquidity, especially on Base, right?
Mm.
And also,
Say,
all
let's
these
let
wrapped assets come with a certain amount of trust as well. And
right,
somewhere, I think in 2021, the whole WBTC did depeg.
right, right. So,
Now,
so let me explain this to the audience, right? Like, so basically, a synthetic asset is can be thought of in this way: that uh, you have the real BTC, and you are minting tokens to mirror that uh, on another chain. So if I have to buy BTC on Base, I'm buying CBBTC, which is Coinbase BTC, which is just a synthetic asset for real BTC sitting somewhere in Coinbase's custody. Is that right, or
yes,
would you
yes,
add things to it?
yeah, this is
Right,
exactly what happens, right? So
exactly.
if I'm
Mm,
on from Coinbase main app itself, right, from the exchange
mm,
itself, if I try to uh, one major difference is that compared to other wrapped assets, from Coinbase I can directly withdraw to Base and it automatically gets wrapped. So
right, right.
unlike let's say a WBTC where I have to convert it into WBTC to withdraw it,
Yes,
I'm just holding BTC itself and on Coinbase and I'm withdrawing to Base, it
it
automatically
will
happens.
automatically become CBBT. So user experience is better.
The
Explain
user experience is much more cleaner when it comes to CBBTC.
right. So
The same goes backward as well, right? So if I'm depositing my CBBTC into Coinbase, it just shows up as BTC.
got it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well. And they can do that because they're vertically integrated with one of the biggest exchanges in the world,
And
which is a publicly traded exchange, stock on the New York Stock
they have the
Exchange.
full vertical integration, right? So they
Right,
are
right,
custodian as well.
right, right.
So
Yes,
they have all the legal rights to do this with the uh, audits done, the proof of reserves. So all of this is already there. The,
right. So,
the
so
stack is
you can
already for them.
right. So you can trust CBBTC. So when you see one CBBTC, you can trust that it is one BTC, legally enforced one BTC.
One BTC, correct.
Right,
Now,
right.
some other people did try this on Solana a long time back as SoBTC,
Hmm.
and today it has as much intrinsic value as a meme coin
Right, right.
because when depegs happen and there is where if I cannot convert it back into BTC,
Mm, mm.
this wrapper asset has no value, right?
Got
So
it, got it.
you are trusting Coinbase here, and you're by trusting Coinbase here, it means that you're trusting the system that has been put in place.
Understand, understand. No, man, that makes a lot of sense. Now, the last bit that probably is good for the audience and our writers also and our scribblers to understand is the liquidity piece. So you said that WBTC has more circulating supply, uh, and it is essentially spread across like multiple chains. But you're saying CBBTC has a lot more liquidity. What does that mean for a user? As I said,
Right.
what does that mean?
So depth and liquidity always gives you better rates. This is what happens, right? So
Right,
if uh, if in a decentralized exchange like Aerodrome or Uniswap, if you
right,
have sufficient BTC in a pool, in your USDC BTC pool, when I am doing that $1 trade for you every day, I am getting more Satoshis for you. Satoshi is the smallest unit of a Bitcoin.
Sat. Yeah.
Sats, right?
Yeah.
So I every day it might look very small today, right?
Understand.
But if you look at how the value of a sat has appreciated
Right.
over time, you can see
Right.
that each sat actually matters.
Understand.
So better liquidity always gives you more sats. That's basically what happens.
So when you say you get more sats that is coming from the flat, that slippage is lower. So
Correct.
is that the only thing, or are other things different?
No. So
One is that the fundamental part in DeFi is a DEX, right? Okay. Now your DEX has given slippage, less slippage for an asset, which means a lot of peripheral products could exist, could show up, right? Like for example, Bitmore could show up because this exists in the first place.
Got it.
So this creates like uh, an avalanche effect, right? A compounding effect there, where now you can have like a set of Bitcoin products that can show up on base because there is sufficient liquidity in the first place.
Right. So you're saying there needs to be a DEX, which in some way is composable by apps like you, and that DEX should have Bitcoin liquidity via CBBTC, and you can, as an app, sit on top of these two things and do the dollar cost averaging that you promise your users to do. Right.
yeah. So
Pretty much.
our app is just one of the options, right? Now,
Hmm.
there are so many other products out there. I mean, not so many, to be honest. Base has a lack of
BTC
Bitcoin
products.
BTC products as of now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they've pushed it that hard. But if you look at the most runaway success product that is on base is Morpho, and it is their BTC part is what that popped.
Right. Right.
So, let me just go through that also a little bit. What
Yeah,
happened?
I was just getting to that, right? Like maybe before we end this section,
Huh,
it makes sense for retail products, BTC retail products, to exist on Base, because the user experience is great. You won't even know the difference between BTC and CBBTC. You don't have to worry about any of that. And it is efficient to trade that. When I put in $1 of Bitcoin, I'm actually getting near $1 of Bitcoin.
correct.
But which I'm not going to get, say, if I do it in other ways. And my next question to you was going to be, is like, who else is doing this? Like, which other big project has leveraged this ecosystem on Base to build around the BTC-Fi side?
So BTC-Fi on base, like I said, is currently, I would say 80% of what is happening is Morpho. Morpho has been a runaway success for, I mean, they're doing a lot of innovative things on the side as well. But where it popped into the scene was with the BTC product. So what Morpho does is generate uh, yield opportunities through vaults, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now they're essentially a lending borrowing platform. You can come, give your assets, and they'll give yield for that is being lent out or used in some strategies. Now the part of Morpho that really popped their volume was when I could take a loan against my Bitcoin became collateral there, right?
Right.
So what Coinbase did was, once they saw a certain amount of traction on Morpho, they integrated this directly into the Coinbase app.
Got it.
So
Got
that
it.
opened up distribution like crazy, which is one of the
Yes.
craziest advantages of building on Base, right?
Yes.
So you
Yes.
know these different layers that you can reach. And as of today, the final epitome is reaching the Coinbase app, getting integrated there, right? You
Mm.
unlock crazy amount of distribution there. So what happened is, a lot of people who are storing their Bitcoin, who do not
Right.
want to sell their Bitcoin, but
Right.
want liquidity, right?
Right.
You want to sell, they just want some dollars maybe for to pay their rent or for something else, right?
Right.
So For that, you could use Bitcoin as a collateral.
Right.
So Coinbase abstracted away the complete DeFi part of it
Right.
and made it into a few clicks. And today, this DeFi product is what is supercharging the yield that they're giving on USDC as well.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
Got
because
it.
USDC, somebody has to provide liquidity into the USDC part.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So this has worked really well for Morpho, and volumes went up, I don't know, some 10x or something like that once this happened.
That's really cool, actually. Now that I think about it, you think of Morpho as okay, it's worlds, I can earn yield on it. But not many people would know that this explosion of volume actually happened because of BTC exposure that people got. And when you give people with BTC holdings a chance to borrow against it, they would much rather do that than go to the spot market and sell it.
Nobody wants to
Right?
sell their Bitcoin, right? See, the whole point
Correct.
of Bitcoin itself is to hold it. And if Bitcoin grows at a faster rate than your interest rate, you're not spending any money.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like zero negative interest
Yes.
loan that you've gotten. No, for sure. That's an interesting thing. Do you think that because Morpho is already a success on base, Bitmore also has a very strong chance to grow because there is a propensity to use BTC on base already for an app of say like a category leader like Morpho? You think that apps like you benefit from that?
Definitely, right? Like I said, this brings volume of CBBTC into base,
Got it.
right? Uh,
Got it.
it increases stablecoin supply into base. So
Right.
all of this has further down the line effects for a product like Bitmore. Also,
Right. Right.
what Bitmore's what we're trying to do with Bitmore is the opposite of what Morpho did with where their volume popped up, right?
Got it. Got it.
We are coming out with a very interesting product there. That is where I think the existence of a model like Morpho, where Bitcoin became prime collateral, is helping uh, a product like Bitmore.
Tell me what that product is because I don't think we touched upon it in the last section.
Yes. So this is when I said in the beginning, what is Bitmore? I mentioned savings and credit layer. We covered the
Right.
savings part. We did not
Yes.
touch the credit layer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the credit layer is today, if you to give parlance to something that happens in our everyday life, right? Like what we see around, you can take a loan to buy a house. You can also take a loan against your house,
Yeah.
right? So taking a loan against your house is what Morpho is doing.
Right.
And what Bitmore will be doing is giving you a loan to acquire the house, to acquire Bitcoin here, right?
Got it. Got it. Got
So
it.
uh, we are going the other way around with this. So you can come make a down payment, and the rest will be done into like monthly payments, and you can get to like a meaningful amount of Bitcoin as a committed stacker.
That's interesting. Tell me more about this. So I could come and take a loan against. I could take a loan to buy Bitcoin. What am I giving as collateral?
So this is where we are doing some DeFi magic, right?
Okay.
So you have to come make the 30% down payment.
Okay.
Yeah, we're starting off with 30%. We'll lower it as we improve our liquidity mechanics, right?
Right.
So
Right.
30% down payment you make, rest 70% will be provided to you by the lending pool.
Got
Now,
it.
with 100% of the money that we have, we go spot by CBBTC.
Got it. Got
And
it.
once we have the CBBTC, normally in DeFi apps, you get run away with the CBBTC.
Hmm.
It,
Hmm.
it comes to your wallet. Now, what we are doing differently is that this goes and sits in an escrow that you control.
Okay.
So, while you're making repayments, then every month you have EMIs, like we're giving a user experience that you're familiar with of
Right.
EMIs,
Right. Right. Right.
monthly repayments, right? Fixed monthly, you know how much you have to pay so that you can decide, okay, I make this much, I can put this much into Bitcoin, right?
Sure. Sure.
So every month you come back and pay certain amount, certain amount, certain amount. And once you finish off your entire payments, then the BTC is unlocked from the escrow and handed over back to you.
Mm.
So during the loan period itself, anytime you can come and close. It's not like you have to finish the time period or anything. You can come and
Right.
close the loan at any point that you want.
Right.
And let's say BTC gained a bunch of value at that time, right?
Right.
You can use your BTC gains to close the loan as well,
Right.
because your loan is denominated in dollars. It's
Got
not
it.
denominated in Bitcoin.
Right.
So you are
Right.
taking a dollar loan to acquire a bunch of Bitcoin at today's price.
This under collateralized loan bit is a bit of a holy grail in crypto. I don't think anyone has really done that. Uh, are you able to do this because it is only meant to acquire BTC and it is sitting in an escrow, which you can you can have a liquidation mechanism that ensures that your downside is protected. Is that how you're doing this? I'm very curious about how you achieve the under collateralized loan bit.
So this, honestly, this under collateralized problem has been something that I've been thinking about, not just like long time before Bitmore was even an idea, right?
Right. Right.
How
Right.
this can be done. One, to answer your few questions that you had,
Mm.
it is not technically a fully under collateralized loan, right?
Right.
Because we are
Right.
sufficiently collateralized. You're making a down payment, the lending pool has given the rest,
Right.
that Bitcoin itself becomes collateral, right?
Got it. Got
Now,
it.
let's say for ease of calculation, let's say not just ease of calculation, I think it has fallen to 100K today or somewhere close to
Mm.
that. So
Mm-hmm.
100K Bitcoin, you paid 30K, 70K is lent to you, right?
Mm. Mm.
Now, normally inside DeFi, what will happen is if Bitcoin price is crashing to 70K, you get liquidated.
Yes.
Now, this is a terrible user experience for a very predictable product, which is what we are
Okay.
trying to do. So
Okay.
we have a mechanism where we are not liquidating you even when market crashes. As long as
Right.
you're paying your loan, we will not liquidate you. Now, how do we
Okay.
protect our lenders? Right? Like obviously the people who are the liquidation actually happens to protect the lenders.
Okay.
So we are protecting the lenders uh, through a put option. So when the borrower is coming in and taking the loan itself, part of the fees is used to buy a protective put at what is
Understood.
owed to the lender, the principal plus first month's interest rate, right? There and plus some margin, we buy a protective put. So even
Okay.
when market crashes, like if
Mm.
there's flash crash, what happens is our protective put gains value plus the collateral that is sitting in our escrow will make us sufficiently collateralized to pay off our lender if our borrower stops repaying.
Got it. Got it. Interesting. This is like using like delta neutral strategy esque type mechanisms to protect your downside in the case a borrower defaults.
Now, in case if the
And
borrower defaults, we after a grace period we will liquidate them,
no,
right?
you're sorry. This is for
Grace
protection
part-
against price volatility.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, that's really smart, man. How did you come up with the idea? Like, what was the inspiration behind it?
So, like I said, I've been trying to crack this problem for a very long time, right?
Right, right,
So I had
right.
like very rookie ideas in the beginning, got roasted every time I pitched it to people. They're like, no lender is coming to give you money if there's a chance that they'll lose money. So I had to solve for the lender. For a
Right.
borrower, it made sense, but for a
Sure,
lender, it
sure.
did not make sense as a product.
Right, right, right.
So then I went into deeper parts about derivatives, how that side of things work. I had no idea about it long time back, but my co-founder, who has been doing this for a while, told me this problem can be solved using this, like a protective
Yeah, right,
perfect solution for this. And that is how we thought, okay, now we have a product, right?
right. Man, that's so cool.
And
That's actually really cool.
one of the reasons why we are building on base is that like I said, the CBBTC part, right? That Coinbase provides. We are building on base chain, of course, that's Coinbase. And the long dated put options that we need for making a product like this work is only available mostly on Derbit as of today, which is
Which
also
is
part
also
of
on.
the Coinbase stack, right?
All of this now starts to make sense now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, that is smart. That is smart. Uh, let's zoom back out a bit. I think we really spent good time on the details of this. But let's zoom back a little bit and think about Bitcoin, the asset again. But why now? Right? Like, I think mm, I'm too close to the problem. I've been in a space where I've heard of people getting into it with I saw $500 BTC, a $700 BTC. I bought it then and I just held on to it forever. And so when they look at a $100,000 BTC, they're like, yeah, I think I don't need to come in at this point. But for the rest of the world also, it's a very large number, right?
Hmm.
So why does BTC still make sense for people looking to invest in an alternate asset class? Because given its price is so high, what is the upside in this? Is the question.
Uh, One, there is to think that of Bitcoin as one coin itself is a fundamentally flawed way to look at it, right?
Sure, sure, yeah,
So, yes, one Bitcoin is at $100,000,
sure,
but one Satoshi, one Sat, is still severely underpriced.
yeah, sure,
The total supply of Bitcoin, the fact that around there's only 1 million left to be mined. Not a lot of people know this. I think we have reached 20 million already, or
sure,
we're about to, just about to, in November. So money supply infinitely increases. There is no cap to it. Whereas Bitcoin supply, most of the supply is already done. So which means you might think that most of the upside is done, right? It is not. There is still a big place to go. There is still, as long as money supply and the M2 supply in the world grows, this will keep growing with it. That is
yeah,
one, right?
right,
At a
right,
macro, that is one. But if we look at the liquidity that is coming into Bitcoin now, right?
mm, mm,
So these people, Raghu, like you and I both, when at earlier stages, I saw Bitcoin first time at $1,000, right? At that time, taking that $1,000 bet had much higher risk than it is today, right?
right, right,
Because at that point, you are just a like cypherpunk guy trying to, trying to be a cool nerd with internet money. Like you just did not the risk of where it will go, whether it will become money, whether it will become collateral. You did not have any of those assurances in this world, right?
right,
Whereas
right.
today, if you look at it, JP Morgan, who famously have always had
Yeah,
a very
yeah,
negative view about Bitcoin, has
yeah.
started accepting it as collateral.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw JB Diamond say that smart contracts are real after saying that Bitcoin is rat poison and you will not touch it and all back in the day. Dude, that's actually a really interesting perspective. So if I had to like come back, like take a step back and just think about what you said, money printing from these economies are not going to stop. And no matter what currency you're holding, even if it is the dollar, there will always be more dollars than BTC. And just inherently by that demand, as more people get to know about BTC, more dollars will still come into this. Second is that you don't have to think about it as a whole Bitcoin. Think about it as like a Satoshi, like one very, a millionth of a Bitcoin, right? And essentially think about acquiring those to begin with, and you can work your way up to a whole BTC, which I think has been the best investment advice. By the way, this is not investment advice, but the best investment advice that I was given by somebody. And I guess the third bit, the de-risking part, I never really thought of it in that sense. That I think the risk of holding BTC at that time was much higher than the risk of holding BTC now. It's just too many market participants, too much institutional this one, and the demand is just beginning.
Yes, we are at a very,
Yeah,
according to me, we are at an inflection point of demand, right?
right, right,
So
right.
the I'm not saying it will happen next week, or I'm not saying
Sure,
it will happen in Q4, right?
sure,
But
sure.
institutionally we are primed to have Bitcoin as like going into national reserves, going into becoming collateral for buying properties. You can basically do anything with this as collateral at this point. And
Understand.
that is global acceptance of an asset class.
Right. Right. No, I mean, like that really puts things into perspective. Stack sats, guys. What are you doing? Like, just go and stack sats right now.
And let me ask you one more final thing, right? Today,
Mm.
to be a millionaire, uh, you need $1 million, right?
Right. Right.
But to be a Satoshi millionaire,
Mm.
you need only $1,000.
Right. 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 Right.
Go get those Satoshis.
Right. Right. No, makes a lot of sense, man. This makes a lot of sense. Go get those satoshis should probably be the name of this podcast. Uh, uh, Yeah, and if you don't have enough money to, if you don't want to spend too much money acquiring them, you can even take a loan via Bitmore. Dude, this can be big, man. I honestly think that this can actually be big. And I know when I like, there is no way, because there's so many projects that are coming out. There's no way of finding out what is going to be big unless you sit down and talk to the founder. And having spoken to you, I feel like I'm not bullish enough on BTC, and as a result, I should probably really pay more attention to all the BTC products that exist.
Yes,
Um, Sorry,
let's
go on.
let's make Bitcoin on base something that comes naturally when you think about Bitcoin. Like there is no wrap, nothing. Like it's just Bitcoin, right?
Sure, sure.
So products like Bitmore, products like Morpho, uh, anywhere where Bitcoin has to be used inside DeFi, base is the place to do that.
Right. Excited about this. Any last words that you want to leave our audience with, Jose, or shall we call it a day or a
Yeah.
night, depending on your background? It's just like completely
Uh,
gone to black now.
oh yeah, I just saw that. It's in here that I did not realize that the whole thing sat
Just,
down at the sunset and like no, it's
yeah,
night.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Closing words for me is this: be a Satoshi millionaire at least, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Go do that.
yes.
You can do that at $1,000 today. Keep that as step one in your Bitcoin journey. But start.
I love it. I love it. That was Joe's, guys. And this was the Scribble Pod. I will see you soon with another episode with another awesome builder like this. And have your clipping hands ready, because there's some rewards for this too. Joe's, pleasure as always.
Yes.
And
Really.
really,
Yeah.
I'm going to start stacking sats a bit more soon.
Now you get it.
Yeah.